been to some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down. Sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down. Sympathy.
So, good evening, everyone. The Premiership is back, and we're looking forward to it. We're going to talk about the Premiership. We'll talk about Jesus being out. Eddie Nketiah, will he step up? And I'll show you the stats of the poll I did on the channel earlier today. It's actually quite surprising, really is. And then we'll do the. We're going to go through all the Premier League fixtures on Boxing Day. And we'll give our match predictions on that. That'd be quite interesting. So, Steve, yes, it's been a while. Good to have you back on, my friend.
What's up, Jezza? How you been, man?
Good to have you back, mate. Steve, as I said earlier, you were having a great chat in the group chat earlier today on Insta. It's quite interesting to see the debate. And, yeah, it's good to have you back on, my friend. And Kenny Ken, as always, the legend that is, the man, the encyclopedia, the oracle of football. And I had actually planned to do a quiz before Christmas, but I'm not going to get time now. So might do it between Christmas and New Year, Kenny. So
that'd be great. That'd be great. You know what? I'm still in the World Cup phase in terms of like the football I've enjoyed. So the Premiership, I'm still rusty in the Premiership in terms of like my attention, but there's some big games coming, and it's make or break. Yeah, I think the show hopefully going to refute a few things. There's a certain person on who thinks he runs a fan base who's saying that Arsenal won't buy no one, and that the reason why we signed Eddie in the big contract because we're going to give him a chance. He was in code trying to tell all of us to demand that we back Eddie, but we'll say it for the rest of the show anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely. So let's start it off. Prince Fuad, good to have you back in. I know what you're going to be saying tonight about a certain person, but there we go. We'll chat about that. But we'll get this underway. So the Premiership's going to kick off Boxing Day, 12:30. I can't wait for it, although I have to say I did absolutely love the World Cup. I think you guys know I'm not a great fan of international football, but this particular World Cup I thought was bang on and thoroughly loved it. And I know, Kenny, you were big into it, but we'll move on. The Premiership is coming back, and it's going to be very interesting for Arsenal in the upcoming months. Games we've got to play. Yes. What's your feeling about Arsenal getting back and starting in the Premiership? Do you think it's going to be a problem?
No, not at all. I think we're going to be ready, but we're not going to be ready with Eddie Nketiah up front. 13 appearances, 0 goals, 0 assists. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. And we need to sell him or put him in loan in January because I don't want him sitting on the bench collecting 100 pounds a week. I'm a little nervous for the restart, but I'm not overly nervous. I think we can do West Ham 3-1. I don't see why we couldn't. My thoughts would be put Ben and Nketiah, put Martinelli up front, and Smith Rowe on the left. Problem solved.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point, Steve. I know you're a Newcastle fan, so
we returned yesterday in the Carabao Cup, scraped by Bournemouth.
1-0, wasn't it? Yeah. So are you happy now the World Cup's over? It's back now to the Premiership to see your Magpies back in action?
It's definitely, and the players will feel this too, and everyone associated with the game. It's just odd. It's odd going from a World Cup final on the Sunday, and then the next day I was watching Serie B in Italy, like the drop off, and then even from the World Cup final to Carabao Cup Newcastle, the drop off is crazy in terms of, like, the relevance and all that good stuff. But it is good having my mighty Magpies back. Absolutely ecstatic about that we reached the quarterfinals. And if you look at the field, who's left in that competition, I fancy us at home against any of them because we've been competitive with those kind of top 6 clubs, at home. So I'm feeling great. Absolutely great. The performance wasn't amazing. I wasn't expecting that, though. I was expecting some rust. Don't play a game for a month, you're gonna have rust. So yeah, I'm feeling good, Jess. I'm feeling good. Great World Cup. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was excellent.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
The best World Cup final I've ever watched, that's for sure. I've seen a few. But Ken, you were absolutely loving the World Cup. You watch, I think, probably every match. Fair play to you for doing that. Are you looking forward to the Premiership coming back, Kenny? And how do you think we're going to do on Boxing Day?
You know what? I'm I give it a couple of days, I'll be back in the Premiership. But in terms of how we think we're going to do on Boxing Day, I think without Jesus, there's going to be a lot of games that we're going to win. I think we're probably going to play the same way as we played last season before Jesus, but against teams who I don't believe are going to be good enough to work us, I think we'll be fine. But it's games against teams that with a bit of ambition, like Man United might show ambition when they play us. Spurs away is rock hard. They're good. We never do well there. And then obviously you've got Newcastle as well, who are playing. Really, really good team. So in terms of those sort of games, they're the games that I am looking forward to from a purist point of view. But if these are tests, I don't have any confidence in Nketiah whatsoever. He hasn't shown to me that he can make the transition. Actually, close down the sort of like gap in quality between himself and Jesus, because from what we've seen so far, there's been no evidence of that. And even the way he plays is not the way Jesus will play. But one thing is, I don't want Martinelli to play anywhere in the set up front, because I think he plays his best football where he is at the moment. And the same with Saka. So the only alternative is to give Eddie a chance to look for another striker this January. Because it doesn't matter whether we're giving Eddie a chance or not, whether Jesus was fit or not. We still need another body in there. And that's what Arsenal fans seem to think. They think, we're not going to spend that much. We're not going to spend big because it's January. We're not going to spend big, and because we're giving Eddie a chance. The goalposts are kind of moved. We are, like, whether Arsenal fans like it or not, we are in a title race. Some Arsenal fans don't want us to be in a title race. They prefer it if we, got into the top 4, because they want to be able to say that's progress. They don't want to be. They don't want to be in a title race because they don't want us to make heavy demands or heavy criticisms of a manager who doesn't work out. So, I will refute and argue with anyone who says that, if we get top 4 this season, we should be satisfied. You can go for multiply for all I care, because simple reason is that you can't be 5 points ahead of Man City, winning virtually every game to the extent you've only lost one and drawn one. And then just say, well, no, we're not in a championship race afterwards. Sorry, we're in a championship race. Whether we like it or not, we're in a championship race. So we've got to act accordingly in terms of player recruitment and ambitions as well. Top 4 is not acceptable after being a championship, race which we're in. It's a massive drop-off.
Totally agree. Prince Fuad, I don't know what your views are about where you think we're going to be with the start, but shout it out there, because I'll give you mine.
You know, I'm glad the Premier League's coming back now, but you know, I said this, all right. Eddie Nketiah has got 2 games. He's got to score against West Ham and Brighton. It's no point, giving out the big and talking the big. He's got to deliver now. We're in a position where you need to deliver. And going into this game, if Eddie can score goals, score even 1 goal. That's me thinking, okay, now you've earned a chance. Just 1 goal. But he has to score against West Ham. He has to score. Because he did. I'll give him I'll cut him a bit of slack. What people did. He did put in a friendly against Juventus. We never had our strongest 11 out there, but he did put the ball in the net twice. One was offside, and the second one was it should have stood. I'll give him now, but I just hope now that he fires off that and think I need to score. I need to get this goal against West Ham, and it's a home game, so Eddie. Get out there and score. But at the same time, I still believe we need another striker. Because if Eddie Nketiah goes down and gets injured, there's no more striker on the club.
You have to put Martinelli up front. At least
you can't put him up front because the system we're playing in now, they're so used to playing in it. And it's working. You can't I agree with Kenny. If you put Martinelli up front, you're gonna tangle with the system.
I disagree. He's red hot after the World Cup. He's ready to score goals. He's one of the fastest players we've got. I think we should put him up front against West Ham. Maybe not against Brighton. I understand what you're saying. It's going to mix things up.
Of course it is.
That's part of football. He's a left wing striker.
All right, for instance, he's
got a better goal scoring record than Eddie.
Okay,
and had 6 months.
All right, I'll put on you now. Okay, for instance, you put him down the middle. He scores 1 game. But this is the Arsenal fan base now. You put him down the middle, we know he's going to score 1 or 2 goals. But if he goes on a street, if he goes on a little drought that he don't score for like 6-7 games, the first thing everyone's going to say is, "Why do we buy a striker? Why are we putting Martinelli up front? Just go out there and buy a striker."
He can't make decisions on what the fans' feelings are going to be after 3 or 4 games, right? I say put the man up front. He's one of the fastest players. He scores goals. He's
you can't gamble. You can't gamble now.
He's ready to play. And
he's ready to play on the left.
Ready, bro.
He's on the left, not up front.
He's just not ready. He's never been ready. He'll never be ready. He'll never be
ready.
A
left. Keep him where he is. When he's playing now, he impacts the game. He's scoring goals. Why are you going to go spoil it for him?
If I could chip in real quick from a neutral perspective about Nketiah, the thing he does really well is when he gets into the right position, which he needs to work on, he's actually a decent finisher. Like, he's not like world class or anything, but that to me is a standout strength. The thing with Eddie is he has to put himself in the right position to contribute, because then you can find, now your key attribute, the thing that you're best at, is finishing in terms of the technique and, beating the goal, stuff like that.
There's no history, Steve. There's no history of what he's done to even
exactly
if he's going to be on the pitch. He doesn't know where to go. His runs are bad. He can't score. Yeah, he scored 2 goals against Juve. Both were offsides. One should have stood. Fuad's got a point. But it's been 13 games, boys. 0 goals, 0
last season too. He was anonymous until the end. But
to be honest with you, I'll be honest with you. Nketiah is not going to go from now to the. If he starts 5 games, I guarantee you, he's not going to go from now and then 5 games and not score a goal. He's going to score in them 5 games.
I think that
reality, he's just going to the ball in net somehow.
The trend that hasn't been the trend. If we follow the trend, that hasn't been the trend.
But comments, but let's move. It's a good question here from Joe. Good to see you, Joe. Hope you're well. Any idea who's fit for the match? Well, as far as I know, I think it's Reece Nelson's out. He's
Reece Nelson's out.
Jesus, obviously, we know it is out. Apart from that, Kenny, do you know of anybody else that's
no? Not at all. Everyone's kind of fit for selection. I think the players who were part of the World Cup squad, with the exception of Saka and Martinelli, they've been assimilated back into the training program and the training regime in Dubai. And some of those players actually played in not just the game against Juventus last week at the Emirates Stadium, but they played in the second game against AC Milan in Dubai, so they've been re-assimilated back into the fold. And we know Ramsdale started last Saturday, so they're good to go for the game against West Ham. And so let's remember that we still got a full fulcrum of the players as well. Benjamin White, and I say this respectfully, might as well not been at the World Cup because it didn't work out.
Yeah,
it didn't work out for the lads. We can all reach our own conclusions, but the fact is that he wasn't physically injured, so you have to assume that there was other things, but you can't have a reason of such a reason that will make you leave the World Cup to the extent that it's a worrying situation, and then you all of a sudden you're fit to play for your club almost immediately. So that we have to draw our own conclusions. But in terms of Arsenal, we've got a full team out, with the exception of Jesus.
Is Emile Smith Rowe around, or no? Is he still?
Yeah, he's fit.
He's finding his feet.
Go off the left in theory, and then maybe if because honestly, in my opinion, I'm on the side with the guy from Oregon. I'm off the bench, maybe Nketiah, maybe, but to be fair about Martinelli, Ken, you're absolutely correct. Off the left is Martinelli, but to be fair, Martinelli, he's got all of the qualities you would want. And I think here's the thing about why I would say Martinelli over Nketiah as well. I think Martinelli could replicate to a better standard of what Jesus brings you than Nketiah.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's a tricky man management thing, though. Regardless of what we think, Eddie Nketiah, the man management thing is that he is a centre forward. You give him a new contract, and that the manager.
And the number 14.
Yeah, number 14. So the manager's going to feel obliged to give him a chance. Like, for instance, if you look at what he's doing with Kieran Tierney, now I'm aghast that he's not been Arteta's first choice. But what Arteta's done, and maybe in terms of man management, he said, right, I don't know what's happening with with Zinchenko. Obviously, Tomiyasu can't. Clearly wanted to sign Lisandro Martinez. Right, Kieran, this is how my left backs are going to play. This is how modern football's going to go. Right, I'm going to use the two games in the Dubai Cup and also the friendly against Juventus. This is how you're going to play. Yes, you'll start as left back, but I want you in the middle in order to create another body there so we dominate possession. So I think that's the same thing with what he's going to do with Eddie Nketiah. Because he's given that contract, he's going to give him a chance to say, right, this is how I've asked Jesus to play. This is how I want you to play. So, it's highly likely that our demands and wish for White for two things. One, for Eddie to, be nowhere near the starting berth, and two, for getting a new striker. I think Arteta, in terms of the man management, is going to try and give this guy a chance, because I'm assuming, rightly or wrongly, the harmony in the squad and in terms of the togetherness, is there. And that players can't wait to get there because they're excited about, the fact that they're in a good environment, they're winning football matches. And it's probably thinking, boxing club said, you know what, I don't want to ruin his team spirit. I'm going to give this a chance because this is what I promised him. So I think that could happen. So we may be disappointed if we think we're going to get a striker, even though we definitely need one.
Yeah, but it's also to slightly deviate to Newcastle just for a minute as an example. For example, we play with Callum Wilson in a 4-3-3. We play a certain way. But if Chris Wood has to step in for an injury or a cup game or whatever, we play differently. Go for with Chris Wood, Trippier comes up, bombs up, tries to get more crosses into the box, not the load driven. Higher up, so that you'd think, oh, Chris Wood, tall, goals. That hasn't happened quite yet, just because Chris Wood hasn't worked himself out in the system in a 4-3-3. Because when he was at Burnley, it was more of a 4-4-2 thing. So but you are right about Nketiah. You would think you give a guy $100,000, you give him the number 14, which he asked for. You should give him a chance, arguably. But yeah, that's Arteta's call. Not
everyone, you know what?
Go ahead, Fuad. I'm sorry.
Everyone knows it. Like we do give it Nketiah a hard time, but you know what? Now it's time to judge him. You know, not from the West Ham game, fans start judging. Don't judge him on last season, because last season it was a team effort. If you take Nketiah's goals away last season, we would never got near top 4.
Yeah, correct.
That's a fact. Arsenal fans are so easy to jump on a thing, but you know, all this time. But let's forget the past and let's talk present. Judge him from that West Ham game, and then you can take it from there. And if he plays crap, I'll be the first one to say, "Yo, he's gotta go."
Fair enough.
Yeah,
right, I agree with that. I can agree with that. Yeah, I mean, right. At some point, you have to give him a chance, right? You can't keep him on the bench forever and rotate wingers in and out of a striker position. And I agree with you with that. He will have to have a chance. But I think at the same time that this game against West Ham coming up is extremely important to kick off the second half.
100%.
And I think that Martinelli is in just platinum form right now. And West Ham are difficult for us.
Defensively, they're decent. Their problem this year has been scoring the goals.
And maybe you change the formation up and put Eddie and Martinelli in the 4-4-2, which of course isn't going to happen. But you know, let's see. If he could put Nketiah up front in the first half, take Nketiah out, and put Martinelli in the second half. Who knows? But I just think we have to keep that intensity up. And with Eddie up front, that I think we lose that, and obviously we lose the Jesus, pressure. But Martinelli
ability too.
I'll tell you something, though. I'll tell you something. People say put Martinelli up front, but I think Kenny will agree with me on this. When Martinelli picks up the ball, do you know his rapid speed and the way he comes out? Defenders can't keep up with him and can't cope with him. So, but Eddie's a fast player too. Eddie's not slow. Sure. Eddie and Nketiah can keep up with that pace because he's rapid too. The only thing he doesn't do is
he's a headless chicken, though, in my opinion. Nketiah, he doesn't know.
Nah. He's not, bro. He's not that bad, but he's rapid. He's rapid.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
You know the reason why
but he doesn't. But I still see him as not. And I still think it was Nketiah is still waiting for something to happen. Like there always has to be another player has to do something really spectacular for him to get involved. Right. When I think Martinelli on the same level as Jesus can create that chaos in the box. And I think that is just not that good enough yet. I mean, we'll see. The debate's still out on really how good he's going to be in the future. But like I said, 13 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. The trend of his current form does not look good. And if I'm Arteta, I don't start him.
Well, see, I see where you're from because the other day, we're frustrated as fans because the simple reason is that, I can't speak for every Arsenal fan because like some Arsenal fans will think, right, if the manager makes a decision because he wears a red shirt, I'm going to back him. Some Arsenal fans will say, well, in terms of quality and the quality of play that we demand at our club, this is not what we want for. And, fans are regards. I'm in that group as well. The fact is, now he's here, the fact is that for the amount of loyalty he's been shown by the football club and the amount of like I said, decision making to confirming the loyalty from Arteta, I don't see him pushing Jesus for that place because that's what Eddie should be doing. He's got to be pushing Jesus for that number 1 spot. It shouldn't be a guarantee, no matter how much he's paid for Jesus, how well he's been playing. Because let's face it, Jesus isn't a prolific goal scorer. He's one of the players who will bring other players into the game and make the team play well because of his work rate and because he's got quick in feet where he'll create space. Eddie's not that kind of player. He's a poacher. But even so, he's got to be pushing Jesus for that team. And right now, he's not pushing Jesus for that first spot. And that's why we're frustrated, because we do want to return. We may not rate you, some of us, but we want to return because, we don't want a situation where we're going to find a striker. But the fact is, we still need a different type of striker anyway. With these two, we need someone who can hold the ball up, a different variety. Not every game, because we're going to play against decent teams, really good teams who are not just good defensively, they're good in midfield and good attack. And they actually going to play Arsenal and think, well, I don't care because they've got X, Y, and Z in the team. Right. We're a big team. We've got good players. We're going to win. Doesn't matter if it's the Emirates or the home ground, they're going to come and win. Not every team, and it's against those sort of teams where Eddie sure will make a difference. All right, but he scored. He did well against Man United and then Chelsea. But come on, Chelsea were on their last legs, especially when the government cut their legs away from them. They haven't recovered from Abramovich leaving, respectfully, and the same.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Good point.
is he gonna do it for us at Tottenham away? Because he didn't do it for us at Tottenham away last season.
I agree with you say, but that's the thing, Kenny. That's what I'm saying. We now from the 26th of Boxing Day again for Eddie, we know he's gonna start. He's gonna start.
That's a guarantee.
It's a guarantee. So now it's up to him. This is make or break for him with the fans because he's gonna get this opportunity now. So it's down to him to think, I'm gonna step up and score goals for the fans and for the club. That's it.
Give Arteta something to think about. Give Arteta go. What Nketiah needs to do: seize the moment, seize the opportunity. Right? There's not going to be much of Jesus until February or whatever the hell. Make it play so well, score so many goals, get involved in build-up play and whatnot. Use the rapid pace, good finishing. Be the poacher. Give Arteta something to think about. That if Jesus comes back, maybe you force Arteta to be like, damn, this guy's in form. I
know what you're saying, but I agree with Kenny.
I don't think he'll do it, but he should be trying to accomplish that.
I know what you're saying, but at the same time, I agree with what Kenny just said. He's right what Kenny just said. Doesn't matter. Him and Jesus are like similar players. We need another striker. We need to go and get a tall 6-foot striker to change the dimension of attack sometimes. Because we need against the big teams and they're defending good and they figured you out where you're going to play up. When you lump that ball in and you keep lumping that ball in, anything can happen. So you do need another dilemma of a striker. And Nketiah, regardless if Nketiah scores from now 20 goals from now to the end of the season, we still need another striker because against other teams, you're going to need another dilemma of attacking.
Interesting to hear from Chris. Chris says here, I don't think it's the right thing to do, but would you think the club could bring back Balogun and invest in a wide player? Kenny, what do you think of that, man?
Well, you asked her. That's a great point because everyone knows people might say I'm biased, but I was never happy about Balogun, being sent out on loan. And of any player that I wanted Arteta to invest in, it would have been Balogun rather than Eddie Nketiah because, I do not think Eddie Nketiah is going to long term is going to turn out to be the player that I think we need. I think he's going to be a good professional for the football club. With Balogun, I generally believe that he could go all the way and he's good enough if he gets the right sort of environment to challenge Jesus. And who knows, might keep back the team. He's got that amount of ability. You know what I mean? There's no, I think he's got more to his game than Eddie Nketiah. So that is something that maybe the club could look at. But again, they didn't do it with Saliba, did they? When Saliba was in the French leagues, when we were having maybe issues with our defence last season, the season before. So he might completely loan your loan. Commitments with Rain. Come back. Let's see you at pre-season. You push for that first team in pre-season like Saliba did. Look what Saliba done. You can get in next season. That's how I look at it. Because I think what it is that I think that it's a very precarious thing to do. But I'm very pessimistic in terms of us getting a striker. I'm going to push for it, but I just think that, sadly, I think that, we're not going to get that other variety. And that's not a criticism of Eddie or his ability. I just think that we still need another, type of striker. Obviously, I've mentioned Ivan Toney. That's someone we've been speaking out for a long time. We still need that kind of striker. So we can hold the ball up, give us something different. Teams are going to work us out, eventually. And they're going to be good enough to take points off us and not beat us because coaches in modern football they switched on now. They do study the opposition. They do study the strengths and weaknesses, and they try and find try and neutralise the strengths and see if they can exploit a weakness.
Yeah.
And that's really so different.
Interesting from Mr. B for life here. You lot can have Tony for free. Man is a total melt. Be nothing but trouble for us. Was fined for speeding the other day, and now more betting crap. Come up, great scorer for us, but has to go troublemaker. DVS, what do you think of that statement?
Yeah, I don't think we need Ivan Toney. Arteta definitely can't stand him after his tweet when they beat us and we beat him again. I mean, Ivan Toney's not coming to Arsenal. It's not going to happen. I mean, yeah, he's a decent scorer, but yeah, the guy probably is kind of a toolbox. He's decent, but I think we can find better.
Yeah. I mean, I rate the guy. I seriously rate him.
I do too.
Oh, I like Evan. Yeah.
But what's coming out from, skeletons in the cupboard is not a good sign. And at this point in time, I don't want a disruptive player to come into Arsenal. I think we've got a very balanced setup. So, no, I seriously don't want him. I want to move on to Gabriel Jesus situation. I read yesterday, that there's chat he might be back at the end of February. Now, having that injury and knowing it can be a very nasty injury, he's had surgery. I can't see him coming back at the end of February. I can't see that. Can you see that, Prince Fuad?
I don't know. I seen it the other day. A friend of you mentioned that. I seen on Instagram the other day that after he had an operation, innit? And obviously he had this operation a month ago, and then I seen he put on his Instagram the other day that they had white powder in it and a hit in his knee, put a pressure on his knee. That he put his thumbs up like. So I don't know. You don't know though. Listen, it could be a setback, but till the club confirms how long he's going to be out for, no one knows, isn't it?
Well, I just think that would be rushing a player back.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. As a sufferer of Steve Bruce for 3 odd years at Newcastle, the guy screwed over a lot of our players in terms of Callum Wilson would come back from injury, and initial reports said this month, and then Bruce would, shove him in the side for, weeks before I even thought. And guess what? It's not gotten better with injuries. So you can't be messing about with shoving players back into the lineup. And the fact that it's not gonna be a walk in the park either. I mean, never mind if it's a league anywhere else. In all leagues, the Premier League, with the physicality, those guys. I mean, Jesus Christ, the physicality and the fouls that like guys like Nketiah and Saka draw, they opponents don't mess around. They don't let these guys walk around and not get a boot and get stuck in. So you wanna be very, very careful with Jesus. Don't rush him back in, because it's just going to be a short-term, medium, and long-term detriment to the player, club, and then it reflects on the manager. So, yeah,
We do know that Arteta has a habit and has proven, and we've seen him keep players on the pitch when they're clearly injured.
Overplaying Saka, prime example that I can think of.
So I could see that easily happening with Arteta.
Yeah.
Because if we don't invest, I mean, I'm sorry, I still think the only solution to this problem is we have to buy a new player in January. And I personally, we'll come on to it in a bit. Will it be interesting to see this poll that I put out? What the thoughts are from real Arsenal fans in that poll, that what Nketiah is going to bring to the table. Now, I'm sorry. We've all seen players in our lives, our knowledge of football, have a knee injury like that, have to have surgery. It takes a long time to heal, and it takes a long time to get back fit. I just can't make out that statement about the end of February. DVS, friend.
I agree with everything that Steve's saying. You rush someone back, you could ruin their career. It's just not worth it. You know, even if we have to rotate Nketiah and Martinelli up front, you know, I think that's better than bringing back Jesus and have him get crocked, against Bournemouth or somebody, right? I mean, it's just not worth losing. I know we're going to finish in the top 4, but I still want to finish first, and I don't think we're going to finish first without him being fully fit when he comes back. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. And January provides an opportunity for us to get a striker that can fit in. That's better than
even on loan.
Right, exactly. I mean, you could go looking at what the Thuram. You can go look at Jonathan David and see if we can get someone like that on loan. Just someone who's physically fit, can score some goals, and won't cost a lot of money. But yeah, I agree with what you guys said. I wouldn't rush him either. He's too much of a key player for our club. And what would happen if he comes back and gets nailed again, and then he's out for a year, 6 months?
Bring him back to square one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I wouldn't rush him.
Yeah, Prince Fuad, what's your view on this one? Because I think
I think. See, when he got injured in the World Cup, right, and that was like 4 weeks. He had his operation 4 weeks ago. Now he's going into his 5th week recovery. But I don't think he'd be out. I think maybe. I don't know the injury thing, but you never know. But if like people are saying it's bad, that it's bad, it's like it is a bad injury and it's a bad knee, then he must be out for the rest of the season.
It's possible.
Yeah, if it's that bad, because obviously if it's bad, but if they're saying is like because I see when he come off the pitch, all right, I thought it was a prank. I seen him run off the pitch. I seen Jesus is going in for an operation. I thought, nah. The next one you see is like he's all over the newspapers, his knee and all over the. So that's the worrying thing about it. He come off the pitch fit. That's the worrying thing. Like he actually come off that pitch fit. Watch how he run off that pitch, and then you realize he's injured. That's the worrying thing about it.
Kenny, what's your view on this? Because we know that Xhaka had a knee injury last season, but I don't think he had surgery, did he?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, but I think with this one, you've got to take it cautiously. You can't rush the guy back so he can break down. It's a long-term rehabilitation. Yeah, we're going for the title. That we want to get, but we don't want a situation there. He's a detriment, not just to himself, he's a detriment to us as well, because we can't. What happens if we bring him back? What he's going to give us the odd 20 minutes here and there. That's not what we need. We need someone who can give us 90 minutes, because we are going to be playing some really good teams. Remember, we've got Man City home and away, and that's a 6-pointer. Both games are 6-pointers. Newcastle, Liverpool away, and Everton is a tricky one as well, because we just have this mental block when we play Everton as well. So there's a lot of games where you can't carry someone. He has to be 100% fit. And we have to assume, rightly or wrongly, whether we like it or not, that the 23-24 season is when we're probably going to see him at full pest. If it's, because we just have to prepare life tomorrow. So, and that's why I do subscribe to the viewpoint that we do need to get someone else in. Not saying that we have to get someone who's similar to him or Eddie Nketiah, but someone who can give us something different. Mr. B for life as well. And I actually, have a peek on Twitter. I don't participate, but I have a peek. And, Kevin Campbell has, talks about the virtues of Marcus Thuram with him being the last 6 months of his contract. That's maybe a player we're going to look at. But that's a player that we've mentioned before. And obviously, he's mentioned Pulisic as well. To be honest, where Pulisic plays, we already got Martinelli.
He's a left winger. Pulisic is strictly a left winger. I've seen him many a time out of position. It don't work.
Yeah, so
throw in about injuries. We had a certain player called Santi Cazorla, awesome footballer. Yeah. Look what we did to him.
Yeah, we ruined him.
We actually ruined his career.
And I'll say this with respect. And it was from a selfish point of view. We ruined Henry. We sent a shadow of Henry to Barcelona because we basically ran that horse ragged, took him to every destination. You reused that train ticket. By the time he went to Barcelona, he lost, for me, a yard of pace, which means for a player like Henry, it's probably 2 yards of effectiveness. You know what I mean? He wasn't the player he was for Arsenal as he was in Barcelona. There was no way he was pushing, you know. So he had to play out his position, and it didn't work out because he probably should have left us, straight after the Champions League final. Because if you look at his last season at Arsenal, Henry had really bad injuries, and he wasn't, even when he came back, he was ineffective. And in fact, the last 3 months of the season, he never played. If you flog the horse, you're running the risk of really causing damage.
No, I totally agree. Anyway, we're going to move on to this interesting fact. I threw it out there earlier. Will Nketiah step up to his job? Now, I'm going to try and find if I can get this set up right. Let me see if I can get it. Hang on. Right, I don't know if you guys. Hang on, let's do this one. Can you guys see that?
It's your YouTube channel.
Yeah. So I'll put this poll out. Arsenal restart on Boxing Day. Will Eddie step up to his job? Eddie will, 18%. Eddie won't, 82%. So 97 people have voted on that. Right?
Yeah.
And the majority are saying, no, he won't. That's a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, you want your fan base to be a bit more confident in you than that. Again, drifting off to Newcastle for a sec, I feel like the same results would happen if it was Callum Wilson and Chris Wood. Like, there is a drop off clearly in the way you play and what they bring. So it's a bit worrying, but Nketiah's just gotta take it on the chin and use that as motivation. Use it as motivation. You got a lot of doubters out there. And Arteta clearly isn't starting you. Before he got injured, he wasn't starting you over Jesus. There's a reason for that. So how about you go make a damn good case that you deserve to be taken much more seriously by the fans and by your manager, most importantly. So, but I don't blame them for that 82 to 18 margin. I don't blame them. I would fall in that bracket as well. But
Dave, yes. What's your opinion on that? Because that's quite a shocking indictment, isn't it?
That's pretty bad.
Think that, and all I did was put a genuine question.
Right.
Of what do you think? Arsenal restart on Boxing Day. Will Eddie do his job? And 82% of people had said no.
I'm one of them. There's just,
I know you were.
Like I said before, there's nothing he's done besides the goal he scored last season at the back end of the season to justify that he's going to produce. Again, he's had 13 appearances this season, 0 goals, 0 assists. And I know I keep harping on the same thing, but if you follow trends of players that, he needs a chance, but he was given a chance at Leeds on loan. He was on the bench. He came back to Arsenal. He didn't do much of anything, again, until the goals last season. It's not working. It's never going to work. He needs to go. How he got the number 14 shirt is fucking beyond me. It's just an insult to Thierry Henry and what he's achieved at our club. And $100,000 a week. I mean, we can get a decent striker for $100,000 a week.
Yeah.
Way more productive than Nketiah could ever possibly be. And I want to put faith into him too. He's a youth player, and like Fuad said, he does need.
I'm sure you want him to succeed, obviously.
The first game back in the Prem is not going to be a good indicator to see how he's going to perform for the rest of the season. And Jesus could be out till April or May, right? So Eddie Nketiah is not going to sustain that, and he hasn't shown to sustain that sort of progress, especially when he's under pressure.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Prince Fuad, what I mean, they're quite shocking stats, aren't they? Let's be honest.
I would, you know what? I voted to 18%. And
Yeah,
the reason being,
I mean-
and the reason being is, okay, the reason being why. I know he's come on the pitch, but he hasn't since Jesus has been at the club, he has been coming on the pitch. But in the Premier League, he's only been coming on for the last 3 minutes, and you're winning the game last 4 minutes, and you're 2-1 up, you're 3-1 up, you're 4, sometimes you're 2-0. The game's won after that brings him on for the last 3 minutes. You're not going to have much impact. And on top of all that, you're in control of the game, so you're not really going to go out there and score. So he hasn't really. You can't really turn around and people turn around and say, "I know we started," but he hasn't had them minutes to impact the game anyway.
I'll check up on that, and I'll find his match log, and then we can.
Yeah, it's like last season. Last season we're losing. He's coming on last minute. Oh, you got too many stats, mate. You're not going to do nothing in 3 minutes or 2 minutes or 4 minutes. You need to get it set into the game. This is why I'm saying now. What the past is the past. This is what I'm saying. If he's going to start playing now from the West Ham game for 90 minutes, that's when you can make proper judgment of him this season. So that's what I'm saying. I just hope he starts fighting for Arsenal.
We have had proper looks at him, Fuad. We really have over the last couple seasons. We really have. I mean, you're right. There's some games he comes on with 3 minutes, but there's some games where I thought he's played a lot of minutes and just nothing happens.
But it's when you're winning, when you're winning and you're in control of the game, he ain't going to come on motivated.
But you should be because you aren't a part of that.
Yeah, but it's different for the Newcastle because when Arsenal's in control of the game, we're in control of the game. It's like we're 2-0 up and there's like 10 minutes left. Arsenal 90% of the time ain't going to slip, ain't going to concede 2 goals, especially with the way Arteta plays. The old Arsenal maybe when you had like the Seagulls in the when you had what's his name in the back, what's his name, Sarachis and the Kashaumis and the midfielders but this Arsenal team like Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko in the back, already if you're 2-0 up and you're 10 minutes to go, these guys are so experienced, they just controls the game. So, if it was the old Arsenal, maybe when we had that crazy back four when we had Mustafi in the back and we had Bellerin in the back and we had already sometimes Mertesacker in the back. You knew already once that guy scores the first goal. But this Arsenal team, for some reason, they know how to handle the pressure and they're good in the back. So it's a different Arsenal, isn't it? So Nketiah now has got to step up with the players who have stepped up, like Ben White have stepped up, Gabriel have stepped up, Martinelli has stepped up. He's got to do what everyone else has done. And that's his chance. If he don't step up, kick him up, get rid of him in the summer.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in the 82% factor, but Kenny, I mean, you saw the stats there. I'm
not surprised at
half 2.
I'm not surprised at the stats because Eddie Nketiah is not. Arsenal fans, what we want a deep squad. I can't think of many Arsenal fans who wanted Eddie Nketiah to have an extended contract, even though he was scoring the goals. There's a few touching gestures. Oh yeah, sign him up, and Arteta said he wanted him to stay. But in terms of how he's done, it's purely on his output. In the games he's playing in the Premiership, and also his output, in Europa League. In Europa League, which is his competition, I haven't been impressed at all. He scored against Brighton in the League Cup, yeah. But apart from that, can we safely say on the evidence so far that we have confidence? No, but what we can say is that that if we give him a run again. We have to wait and see it. We have to wear it. But for me, I don't know. I say it now. We have to to accommodate him. We might have to slightly change the way we play.
Yeah,
and to the extent that we're virtually creating chances where he can't miss. You know what I mean. He is going to work hard. He is going to try and create something out of nothing, but he's just not good enough, and that's the frustrating thing. I have to pray that I'm proved wrong, but on this showing, nah. Also another thing I've got to think. Well, you know what? If he knows it's highly likely that he's going to be our striker for the end of the season, I just pray it galvanises him, and he gets a bit of confidence and think, well, I'm the main man, and this is my chance to start as Arsenal's main striker at the start of next season. It's an opportunity for him, massive opportunity, not just for in Europe, but also for the Premier League, because I don't see the reason why the plan changes because Jesus is injured. We're 5 points ahead of Man City, got a game in hand, got a couple of games. We still got a couple of games in hand. I don't see why we should be thinking of anything else. So Eddie's got to step up to the plate. Really has to.
Yeah, it's a fair. I mean, all good points. I mean, my worry here is basically, we are top of the league, 5 points clear. We're 3 or 4 days away, 8 o'clock, Boxing night. Kenny, you'll be at the game, and I can see. Anyway, we'll hold that there. I want to go and get everybody's views on these. So let's go through the Premier League fixtures on Boxing Day. So at 12:30, I noticed they're all on Prime Video. And that's a bit unfair on people, I think, if they haven't got Prime. But there we are. 12:30, Brentford Tottenham. I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford on that. We'll do a round robin, get everybody's views, and see what you think. And anybody in the chat, put your views out, see what your predictions are. DVS, how do you see it? Brentford Tottenham, 12:30.
Brentford Tottenham. I'm going Brentford 9, Tottenham 0.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Let's do 3-0. 3-0 Tottenham.
Oh, you're going 3-0 Tottenham. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be ready, unfortunately.
Steve, how are you seeing Brentford Tottenham?
I back you, Jez. I'm going 2-1 as well. To be honest, Spurs away from home have been really disappointing. Going 2-0 down going 2-0 down to Bournemouth. They came back, the scruffiest of scruffy goals though. And then Marseille, they went down in a crucial game. They came back, but guess what? Eventually, that trick, you can't rely on that every single time if you go away from home. Fact is, Brentford, they haven't had too many of their players at the World Cup. I can only think of maybe 2 or 3 off the top of my head. I could be wrong, but Brentford at home are a different proposition away from home, and the same goes for Spurs. I think they're a very poor side away from home, to be honest. They get some lucky comebacks in there, so I will go 2-1 Brentford. So that's my take on it.
Prince Fuad, how you seeing that one? Brentford Tottenham.
I'll go draw 1-1 or 0-0.
Yeah. I thought about 1-1.
0-0. Both 2 dead teams.
Yeah, okay. Kenny, how you seeing that? Brentford Tottenham.
Well, Eric, I can't see Harry Kane being ready in time for. If Harry Kane plays, he's top of the game. They win comfortably, Tottenham. I still, it's going to be interesting to see what's going through Ivan Toney's head. He's in deep doo-doo.
Will he even play? That's interesting.
Yeah, because there's no reason, right? They haven't had the hearing. They haven't made a judgment. He's available for selection. So if you go by the last game before we went to the World Cup, he was an hero, wasn't he? Because he virtually won the game against Man City. So if you go and by that, you'll think Brentford should win it. But I just think I could see it could be a 0-0 as well, just like it was last season in the at the Bees Stadium 0-0 as well. They could dominate, but I just don't think that they'll be able to break Spurs down, and vice versa.
Fair enough. So Crystal Palace, 3 o'clock. Crystal Palace at home to Fulham. I'm going to go 1-1 with that.
Crystal Palace home to Fulham?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1 Palace.
3-1 Palace. Fair play. Steve, where are you going?
It's actually a pretty decent game. I mean, it's not going to be the main meal or the main thing people are excited about, but Palace, good support, good home crowd, kind of a London derby sort of thing. I'll go 3-2 thriller. Both teams score goals. Both teams good in the air. They got some fantastic players. I'll go 3-2. I'll go 3-2 Palace. Yeah, I think that'll be a decent game. That'll be one of the games of my 5 screens on for sure. Maybe even the main one. Well, besides Leeds Newcastle, but yeah, I'll go 3-2 Palace.
Fair play. Prince Fuad, where you going with that? Palace at home, Fulham?
2-0 Palace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Positive. Kenny?
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Palace. I think it's going to be a very good game of football. Both, if you look at both teams, I think the American players from, Tim Ream would be back, surely be back with, and so would Mitrovic be back. And, Palace, they didn't really have anyone in the World Cup. Was it AU? And was it Andre?
Yeah, AU was there.
AU, that's about it. So I expect both teams to be strong. But I think Palace home form should see him in good stead. But I think Fulham run them close.
Yeah.
Right. Quite interesting here on the Premier League because they've got Crystal Palace Fulham and they've got Everton Fulham. So I don't know how Fulham are going to be in up in Liverpool and in North Croydon at the same time. So I don't know what's happening there. So we'll skip that one.
It's Everton Wolves. That's the game. That's the real one.
Everton Wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Everton Wolves. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to go 2-1 Everton on that. DVS.
1-1.
1-1. Fair play. Steve.
0-0. It'll be the worst game of football you'll ever probably see in your life.
Okay. Fair enough. Prince Fuad.
I'm going with Steve. 0-0. 2 dead teams.
0-0. Okay. Yeah. Good call. Kenny.
Is that Everton Wolves?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Lopetegui's first game. I think he's going to keep his tight. They're going to play for Lopetegui, and if they get Jimenez fit, I can see a shock. I'm going to go 1-0 Wolves.
Really? Okay.
I think that's far more likely than an Everton win.
Yeah, because I think if Jimenez is fit, remember Jimenez, he played for the. Didn't he play in the World Cup? He came on against Mexico when the situation was a bit dire, but he came on, and Lopetegui. Hopefully they're going to have some sort of, for the Wolves' sake, they're going to have some sort of organisation. I mean, ever since Espirito Santo left, it's just been a joke. The horses have definitely run wild.
Connor Cody also is going to want to prove a point to Everton. Hey, why'd you guys bin me Wolves? Like,
he might be able to play. Is he on loan?
Sorry, it's the opposite. It's the opposite.
Opposite, yeah.
Yeah, he won't be able to play, will he? Because he's on loan. He's a parent club.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So let's go to Southampton, Brighton, South Coast Derby. I'm going to go on that one. I'm going to go 2-1 Brighton.
Brighton against who again? Southampton? At Southampton?
That's Southampton.
Yeah, I could see Brighton doing 3-1.
Okay. Steve?
Yeah, I'll go big time Brighton win. I'll go 4-0. To be honest, I love the way De Zerbi's got them playing football. They got lucky, really lucky against Lincoln City yesterday. Went 1-0 down. Che Adams, I think he got a brace, but I don't see it. I really don't. But yeah, I'll go 4-0 Brighton. I think Southampton are in for a hammering. So.
There's interesting ones in the chat as well. And we've got Ian Gould's going Southampton, Brighton 2-1 away.
Come on, Brighton.
Darren's saying Saints 1-0 at home.
Yeah.
Right.
Could be.
Prince Fowl, how are you seeing that one? Southampton.
I think Southampton.
Okay.
Southampton were maybe 1-0. Creep a goal in the last minute.
Yeah, I could see that. Brighton, the problem with Brighton is that they've got all the build-up play, even Potter to De Zerbi, the transition's been phenomenal in my opinion. They don't have the lethal striker yet, so I see your logic, Prince Fuad. I don't blame you.
Yeah, Kenny, how are you seeing that one? Southampton.
It's they got this their new manager started, isn't it? Nathan Jones.
Yes,
Is it Nathan Jones?
Southampton.
So the new manager bounce. It's going to be a very good game of football, and it could go. It's going to be, despite the fact Brighton don't score many goals. I still think this is going to be like probably a 3-2 to Southampton, because I think Brighton are capable of going 2-0 up, and then the horses run wild and they start conceding goals at the end when it's tied.
Yeah, fair.
3-2 Southampton.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. B for Life is put in here. Quick, answer this one quickly. Would you take McAllister from Brighton, Jez and Kelly all day?
Yeah.
Kelly will take him. DVS. Sorry, Kelly. Come 100%. Back. Yeah. DVS, would you take McAllister from Brighton?
Possibly, but I want Enzo Fernandez. Actually, I want Enzo Fernandez as our number one signing over any player. Okay. Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, I would take McAllister, but he wouldn't be the one I would want out of a couple of our.
He's an attacking midfielder too, and you guys are pretty stacked in that position. Emil Smith-Rowe, Odegaard. So yeah.
I'd still take him. Yeah, he looked amazing at the World Cup.
Yeah. And he's been really, really good for Brighton too. Scored some cracking goals. Oh my word! What a player! Yeah, I'd take him at Newcastle in a heartbeat. I would take him over Maddison strictly for price tag, because there's probably about a 40 million difference. Even though, like, I could see Maddison going 75, McAllister 35, 45 ish. So, but yeah.
Prince Fuad, would you have him? McAllister from Brighton.
Yeah, I'll take him. We need a bench player.
I think so. I'd take him anyway. Let's move on. We'll come to you on this one first, Steve. Leicester Newcastle. I'm going to go. I'll give you my prediction.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-0 Newcastle.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go. I'm going to go 2-1. I think Leicester are good value for a goal. They've been improving. I looked up the recent, head-to-head record away to Leicester for us. It's been Leicester win, Newcastle win. Leicester win, Newcastle win. Newcastle win, Leicester win. So we've fallen. The last one was 4-0 last year, I believe. So we're on the right side this time. So I'll take us 2-1. I'll see why not.
Prince Fuad, Leicester, Newcastle.
I'm going Leicester 2-0.
That's interesting. That's interesting because Mr. B for Life has gone 2-1. He's gone 2-1 Leicester. Interesting.
Leicester beat Newcastle.
Are you seeing that one, Leicester Newcastle?
I'm going 3-0 Newcastle. I think Newcastle too strong. I think they're just. The thing about it is they're gonna have some Gamaris is gonna be back. The fact is, they also got Callum Wilson needs in the cup for the World Cup. The thing is Sam Maximan can't get a game because he's not really fully fit. So they got him to come off the bench. They've got so much quality now that there's actually no excuses for Newcastle not to do something this season in terms of a cup or
especially with how poor defensively Leicester are.
Oh, they're terrible.
Yeah, but they are before the World Cup. Before the World Cup, they've been playing well. So
yeah,
so they have improved. That's why I'm going for Leicester.
Newcastle just don't have that quality up front. Even let's face it, Jamie Vardy's finished, and he should be. He's 35. He's not. They don't have the cutting edge that they used to have. Maybe a couple of seasons before. So I'll have to go for a Newcastle win, comfortable win as well.
We are decent favorites. Looking at the odds, we are pretty decent favorites. So yeah.
Well, the current way Newcastle are playing, I'm not looking forward to playing them. That's for sure. DVS, how are you seeing that one? Leicester
3-0. Leicester are absolutely terrible. I know they had a good run towards towards the beginning of the World Cup, but Newcastle's too good. Almiron with a brace. I mean, the guy's unstoppable right now. He's probably the most informed player, top 3 informed players in the Prem. He didn't play in the World Cup, right? I don't think he played.
It's Paraguay.
Oh, yeah, Paraguay, right. I was going to say Peru, but right, Paraguay. But yeah, I just think Almiron can just absolutely destroy that defense in a matter of minutes. I can see 3-4-0. Newcastle are on fire. Yeah, they could do Leicester easily.
Steve, you going to be watching that game?
Oh, of course. Yeah. So I'll get out of work for my night shift at about 8 a.m. and then, just drink a Red Bull or something and then stay up till about 12. And then watch that. No, I'm really excited. 5:30 UK time. We've got Aston Villa Liverpool. I'm going to go on that one. I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. DVS?
I'm going to go 2-2. I think Aston Villa can pop one in. I think Liverpool's defense is not what it was the last 2 or 3 seasons. We'll see what Van Dijk looks like after the World Cup, but that's going to be a tough game for Liverpool. Aston Villa, I know they're not chopping off heads, but they're no mugs either right now. Leon Bailey can do things with the ball. He can make things happen. They're a decent squad. So, yeah, I'm thinking 2-2.
Fair play. Steve, how you seeing it? Aston Villa Liverpool. Beg your pardon.
I hate Aston Villa a lot, but I got to give it to them. I'll go 2-1 Villa. I was talking crap about Spurs away form. Liverpool makes them look like a decent away side. Seriously, outside of the Champions League away games, they're in the bottom 3, I believe, in league form in terms of the away side, in terms of away performances. I mean, these guys away from home, they are one of the 3 worst teams in the league so far in the Prem. So, Aston Villa, I think they got enough to do a 2-1, to be honest. So, yeah, I'll go 2-1.
Yeah, okay. Prince Fuad, how you seeing that one? Aston Villa Liverpool. 2-0.
I'm gonna go. Is Liverpool at home or they away?
It's at Villa Park.
All away.
I'm gonna go. Do you know what? I'm gonna go Liverpool 2-1.
Okay, fair play. Kenny Ken, how you seeing that? Aston Villa versus Liverpool.
I think it's going to be a good game of football, but I think Liverpool will be too strong for them. Like the quality. Again, they've a lot of their top players didn't really go to World Cup with Firmino. Although Firmino didn't go, he's his top player. Salah didn't go, obviously. And Alisson, they're all back now, selection. So yeah, I think they're going to go. They're going to be strong. I think this is Liverpool's time of the season, isn't it? They're always strong in the second half of the season.
Yeah. And Chris Ward says, with Unai there, it's going to be 2-1 to Aston Villa. And, of course, the most important game of the day, 8 o'clock. Kenny, you'll be there. Hope you're going to wrap up warm. Arsenal, West Ham. I am going to go on this one. I am going to go a positive 2-0 Arsenal. DVS, how are you seeing it?
I'm with you, buddy. I'm 2-0 as well. I don't see West Ham scoring if our defense can stay focused. Like Fuad said, our defense is experienced. They communicate well. Jacques is playing well, except for the other day. I don't really care about that. Party is probably ready to play. I just don't see West Ham scoring, to be honest. And we can nick a couple goals, so 2-0.
Yeah, I agree with that. Steve, how are you seeing it? Arsenal, West Ham.
I'll go 1-0 to the Arsenal, as they used to say. Look how many 1-0 away losses West Ham have this season. Nottingham Forest. Liverpool only beat them 1-0. Chelsea beat them 2-1, I believe. Then there was one more in there. Man United beat them 1-0 as well. So four games right off there against, obviously Nottingham Forest starting top 6, but Yeah, it just for me, not like I said earlier, West Ham defensively are fine, and you got to also think Naif Agred, the Moroccan center back. I think he's finally fit and healthy for them. He was outstanding in that World Cup, one of the better center backs in that tournament. So he'll be feeling pretty confident, and that'll give West Ham a boost defensively. I'll take a Saka goal in the second half.
Okay, Darren's not happy. He's going 2-2. You need to open that bottle of wine you got there, Darren. And,
yeah, because that's going to help his judgment.
Yeah. Prince Fuad, how you
say? I got to get going, guys. It's been fun. I got to kind of. Thank you so much, guys.
Take care. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you guys. Have a great holiday. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Stay safe.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Care, man.
Take care, bro. Take care, bro.
We're just about to wrap this up. Prince Fuad,
I'm gonna go, and this is for my best friend Christopher Wood. I'm gonna go Arsenal 2-0, and Nketiah is gonna score the 2 goals. Come on, Eddie.
He would be doing himself some favors if he did that.
I'm gonna predict a 2-0, and Nketiah is gonna score 2 goals. I'm predicting it now.
I hope he does. I really do hope he does.
That's for you, my friend Christopher Ward.
All right, Kenny Ken.
I think it's going to be like last season. I think West Ham are going to have a strong game, but I think the cutting edge is going to come from us. So I expect us to win 2-0 as well.
Yeah. I think so. I think if Arsenal get back, well. The games I've watched, apart from against Juventus, we've been pretty relentless, and I can see it being on that one. So we're going to wrap it up, guys. Steve, shout your channel out, mate.
Yeah. So I'm on Newcastle Fans TV on YouTube, and then also Strasbourg Steve on YouTube. I do some videos on there every once in a while. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And on Twitter, it's Stove STOVE. Mahala, MACHALA, all in one. So that's about it.
Good man. And everybody go over, subscribe to Steve. This guy's brain knowledge of football astounds me, especially European football.
That's my specialty.
He actually does watch European football. So he's not bullshitting. He's actually talking pure facts. And the players he knows and gives information on to me, I've never heard of. He knows them, not personally, but he knows the stats. So fair play to you, Steve. Nice one. And Prince Fuad, shout yourself out, man.
You can find me on Prince Fuad TV on YouTube. I do a lot of covering with Kenny. We talk boxing. Even though I'm an Arsenal fan, we like to talk about our sport. So hopefully, I got some in the new year. I got a lot of hopefully boxers coming on. So yeah, and Kenny be jumping on with me hopefully, and we can. So yeah, you'll find me there, Prince Fuad TV.
Nice one, man. Nice one. And Kenny Ken, shout yourself out. Your Insta stuff is brilliant.
Instagram. I have a Twitter account, but I don't participate as much as that much anymore. Instagram, I'm on it every day. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of put a lot of captions out and just give me opinion on them. So yeah, that's where you can find me. But as I said before, I'm going to enjoy my Christmas. But Christmas for me is about eating a lot and having a good time. What I feel about the Christmas program. So that's another that we're not going to go through that at all. But I just hope that fans get to get safely. Get the game safely, and fans, somehow find their way home. Because what with the strikes and no transport, best of luck getting home after the match.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I know a couple of guys that were going to go up on Boxing Day. One's a West Ham fan, one's an Arsenal fan, and they can't get there because of the train strike. So it's a real pee-off. But before we go. If Gracie is well enough and she's up for it and Kenny's around, we're going to do the Christmas show. I'm going to put a link out there to invite people on if you want to come on, have a chat. We're going to talk everything football, have a laugh, eat some mince pies, whatever like that. So I'll see how Gracie is. If she's not up for it, she's not up for it because she's
Right.
not. She's really not very well at the moment. And so if we don't do it, if I don't speak to any of you guys or don't see you before, have a great Christmas. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. Drink, eat, and have a great time. And love to all of you. And thanks for watching this channel this year. It's grown bigger and big. And
Also, oh, sorry, Jack, my bad.
go on.
I was just gonna say, by the way, shout out to your women's team. They're up 8-1 right now at FC Zurich.
Right, okay. Fair play.
You got a good women's team, man. I checked out a few of the play some good football.
And
So-
I want to pick up my best friend, Christopher Ward. Eddie's going to score them 2 goals.
Yeah, nice one, Chris. Thanks for coming on, man. And to anybody who hasn't subbed, please come and give me a sub. It does help. Share and share it around. Hit the likes. It does help build the channel.
Notifications.
On all of that, guys, we are out of here. Take care. Merry Christmas.